Alright, so today we're going to do maybe something a little different. I had a request to make some sort of video about what I use amp-wise and pedal-wise and this, that, and the other thing. I said, okay, I don't know if anybody wants to listen to my ramblings about what you should or shouldn't use. This is what I use, okay? So let's have a slight disclaimer. This is the views of Todd Lewis. This is not the views of you, or Jane, or Judy, or Bob, or Steve. This is what I use. You don't have to use it. You may not like what I have to say about certain amplifiers or certain things. Remember, this is my opinion, okay? We all have opinions. Like assholes. Everybody's got an asshole. Everybody has an opinion, see? Okay. Let's start off first. I can pull this out. Okay. When it comes to setting up my guitar, how do I set up my guitar? I had somebody yesterday just ask me, what neck relief. What do I do? This is what I do. I don't like neck relief. I like my necks as straight as I can get them. If they're straight, it's wonderful. You look down the thing, you see how straight it is, like this. Actually, you should do it like this, but however you do it with a ruler, you do it with anything. You take your truss rod, wrench, and carefully, boop, boop, boop. You don't do this. Oh, just when you're gonna adjust your truss rod, right? Just nudge it a bit, and then look, and nudge it a bit, and look. You'll be surprised. A little bit goes a long way. Don't be afraid to do it. I had to learn how to do it. Believe me, it's not that difficult. It really isn't. And it's a good thing for every guitar player to know how to do. Action. Okay, so we got the boards flat, right? Action. Now, this is an engineer's ruler. I've had this ruler now for 20 some odd years, 30 years. I don't know how many, a long time I've had this ruler. I have made sure I never lost this motherfucking. Where's my fucking ruler? Where's my? So I've had this for a long time. This ruler, without my glasses on, goes 30/4 of an inch, 32nds of an inch to 64ths of an inch. I used a 64ths of an inch side, right? And I know I'm not going to be able to zoom in on this one, but you can get the idea. Wait, let's see. That's not bad, right? I use a 64ths of an inch side. So what I do is what everybody does. You go to your 12th fret, right? And you put your ruler down and you go like this and you read it. And if you're older, like myself, you need glasses now to read it because you can't fucking read that no more. And what I like to do is this. My low E, my little E, my high E, I like to have 2 64ths of an inch. For my low E, 3 64ths of an inch. Now many people say, you can't have it. I had somebody argue with me. And I'm serious. I had somebody argue with me over like, you're an asshole. You're bullshit. You can't have your action that low. Nobody can have the action. I have like 47 guitars with action that low. Don't tell me I can't have action that low. I don't really consider that low. To me, that's like, okay, that's normal. I could go a little higher. I don't like it. I really don't like it a little higher. I like it, that's where I like it. And because the board is straight, I never get any buzz or any problems like that or anything whatsoever. It's perfectly fine. That being said also, this is a very important thing because I had a friend one time and I always set up his guitars because he didn't know how to do jack shit. And those of you, some of you know who this person is, but we're not going to name names. And he was like, it's buzzing. I gotta go take it back to Matt. It's buzzing. And I said, look, it's not buzzing. It's the way you're playing. How you play your guitar matters a lot. As opposed to action, neck straight, neck not straight. That actually matters about your playing style. Okay, I play very lightly. When I'm playing guitar, I'm playing very, very lightly. When I'm playing these things, I'm not ripping this fucking thing. It's not like that. I'm gliding. I'm just gliding. And this is very light, a little heavier. It depends on what you want to do, you know, with the note. You're over here, you're palm muting over here, you're holding the pick, you know, a certain way. Sometimes you hold the pick on the end, you know, on this end. Sometimes you hold the pick on this end. But believe me, that matters about whether you're going to have rattling or you're not going to have rattling and all this kind of stuff. So when you're setting up your instrument, this is why I always say this, and I still say this all the time. Every single guitar player should know how to set their action, should know how to set their neck, should know how to set their intonation, and should know how to set the height of their pickups. Every guitar player. If you're going to learn how to play guitar, you should learn how to do basic adjustments. Why? Because, number one, it'll save you a lot of money. Because you bring this thing to some kind of get set up all the time. Jesus Christ. And two, because that person doesn't know, that person's not you. That person doesn't play your guitar. You play your guitar. They're going to sit there, well, I want low action. To them, their low action is this. But you may say, well, I want to lower that. I don't like the way you did this. And, you know, and if you don't know how to do it, you know, making an experiment and going, oh, let's turn this thing and see what happens is a good thing, you know? I don't like this. I like this. I like this. It's best. You're exploring the guitar. You're playing the instrument. You're learning how to play it. You're exploring your own style. You should also explore how you like your instrument to play, you know? So that's how I set mine. Pole pieces on pickups, I put them all straight flat. I don't put one up, down. I don't do any of that. I flatten them out. That's how I keep it. The pickups, I try to keep them, I don't really measure them. I measure them by ear, but they're pretty much a little bit above the ring, a historic ring. Because remember, we're talking historic guitars. I don't have any other guitars. I only use historics. So it's maybe a little above the ring, maybe right flush with the ring. Depends on the pickups, depends on the guitar. Sometimes almost depends on the amplifier, but that's pretty much where I set it. I like it that way until I don't like it. And I usually, you'll see me doing this with the pick, like, this motherfucking thing. Because it's flathead on historic, so you can just, you'll see a lot of my picks are bent at the top. Turn the screw. That's how I like my historics. That's how I like my guitars. Strings. What strings do I use? I use these. And I know this is backwards, so, you know, watch this in a mirror. These are the strings I've been using now for over 20 some odd years, 25, 26 years, I guess. I don't really even know. In the beginning of my, when I first started playing guitar, well, I first started playing guitar when I was around 6, 7. In teenage years, we got more serious than doing it in 20s and 30s and whatever. In the beginning, I used to use Gibson historic strings, right? Gibson strings. They were great, and I liked them. But then some guy in guitar says, you know what you should do? You should get yourself some Ernie balls. You'll love them. I did. I gave them a try, right? And never went back. And that's it. They're 9s. No, they're not 9s, Jesus Christ. They're 10s. 10s to 46. I don't use heavy bottoms. I don't like that. I just simple, you know. You'll find a lot of shit that I do is very simple. The simpler the better. I don't like to get complicated, because then it doesn't work. I tried. This is my style of shit. So simpler the better. So no heavy bottoms, no nothing. Just pure nickel, because I like nickel the way it sounds, a little softer. I'm primarily a blues and a rock and roll guitar player, so that's why. Balls are best, baby. Balls are best. When do I change my strings? I like old strings, tell you the truth. So I usually keep them on until they absolutely sound like complete shit, and I pull them off. Or until they dent. You go like this, you can feel like the nicks from the frets. When I feel that, I go, okay, it's a little time to pull them off. Also, you should always wipe down your strings. Each string individually, and I've said this before, but each string individually before and after you play. Because you see this green, black shit, it's called oxidation. It's from oxygen. It gets on the string, and if you play it, it'll slow you down. You're like, what is this gunky shit? Why does this string feel like this? Because it's dirty, man. Wipe the string down. Wipe your strings down. Amplifiers. Let's really go through amplifiers. Now I'm going to piss a lot of people off here. Okay? Master volume amplifiers suck. They all suck. Every master volume amplifier sucks. I hate master volume. I don't like them. Why don't I like them? Well, we all know what master volume amplifiers. They overdrive the preamp section, not the power amps, and this, that, and the other thing. We get technical. But there's a thumpiness to a master volume when you're using the overdrive, and the gain has that, I don't know what to call it, like a Metallica kind of, you know, that, it's too thumpy for me. And I don't like it. I never liked it. I never understood a master volume amplifier either. I don't really know how to use them. So maybe I'm using them wrong. You know, you get the gain, you get your volume. Well, what the fuck? I don't use them. I use non-master volume amplifiers. Now, you'll always see the amplifiers I use, okay? The two I have now that I'm going to use in the video here is, this is a Tweed Deluxe, hand-wired from Fender, 14 watts, one blueback Jensen, and this is a 18-watt Marshall. It's like they call it a mini blues breaker, 74X, hand-wired from Marshall, right? They're both recreations of their famous amplifiers of years gone by. This has a greenback. This has an aged greenback, so it has a little bit of flubbiness to it. Same thing of these cabinets. These are hand wires, but you'll notice hand wire. They're all non-master volume. This is an actual 65 Super, also non-master volume, non-master volume, non-master volume. Now you say, well, you know, look, it comes into my second point here. Why the hell do I use master volume amplifiers? What the fuck is the point? I use them because they overdrive power amps, power tubes, the power amp section. Now that's very loud, obviously, if I want to do that. And I can't do that at a club here in New York, because they'll shoot you. I can't even do it in a park here in New York, because I tried that once with that thing, and that didn't work either. It was too fucking loud. It's not meant for today's shit. It's meant for like maybe 1968 when they had shitty PAs, but today, you know, they're like, what are you doing? What the fuck? I'm playing guitar. That's all I'm doing. But it sounds the best. And if you have never played, let's say, a Plexi or a Tweed, and turned it up and did it the right way and got overdrive that way and you know, controlled your overdrive from here, not from the floor, believe me, you'll never go back. You'll be like, oh shit, this is amazing. Especially that thing, because I'm telling you, it's pretty amazing. So when I'm playing, let's say, a club here in New York, in a band or whatever situation it is, you usually use the back line. And most clubs here have like JCM 800s. I don't mind them. They're not terrible amplifiers. JCM 800s, not 900, 800s. JCM 800s. Most of them have 800s. Some have 900s. Some have little Fender Hot Rod DeVilles. That was a good amp. And I'm going to say, you know, you want to get a good amp, that's a good damn amp. Fender Hot Rod DeVille. They were good. Built like fucking tanks, those amps. Those are good. That's a master volume. But, you know. I have two master volume amplifiers. I have the Silver Jubilee 20 watt, which is great. And then I have that, what the hell is it called? I forget what the hell it's called. People know, it's about $500. It's a 50 watt. The only reason why I bought these was because I needed an amp for a band I was in, where we had our own studio. So I kept an amp there, so I'm not going to keep one of mine. Fuck that, I'm not keeping one of these amps. These amps are expensive, I'm not, fuck you. So I got a nice 20 watt. Plus it was light as hell. Oh, that fucking amp, that amp is great. The little Jubilee 20 watt. You want to get something like for a gig? Get that. It weighs nothing. It weighs nothing. It's great. Weighs nothing. Put a little cover over it. You go for it. Boom, bang, you're done. Get that. That's a good little Marshall to have. So I use non-master volume amplifiers. So how do I get my overdrive then? Well, that's why I use pedals. I don't like using pedals. The second thing I'm going to say. I don't like using overdrive pedals at all. I really don't. I don't like them. Now, that being said, I don't like overdrive pedals But I have probably like a million overdrive pedals. I have a lot of overdrive pedals. Because I'm a picky asshole, I really have to search far and wide to what I like or what I don't like. It's got to be transparent. It's got to be where I'm playing the pedal and I don't think I'm playing a pedal, where I think I'm playing the amplifier. It can't be too much overdrive. I'm not a big Metallica kind of guy. I'm not. That's not me. I like to hear the guitar for it to being in the guitar. When I was first learning how to play guitar, I didn't use an amp. A lot of times I don't use an amp when I'm sitting at home, like watching TV, just playing. I won't use an amp. I'll just play this thing just the way it is, you know. So, and that's a whole big other story of why. But so when I'm looking for overdrive, if it like rolls right over you, you know, and it's like now I'm playing overdrive. I'm not playing a guitar anymore. That's not for me. Ain't happening. So, with that being said, I have many overdrives over the years. The ones that I use now, this is one. This is, people know what this is. It's an Analog Man Prince of Tone. I have two of these. I have one down here on the board here, and I have one here. Why two of them? Because these are fabulous. I'm on the list for the King of Tone, but to tell you the truth, I kind of like this better. Mike likes this better too. Anyway, this is fabulous. This is really good, and you know, crystal clear. And then you go into the overdrive; it's not overbearing, and it's not pushing it to the fucking max. You don't get that flubby sound. I also use these. You all use Klons. No, this is a Centura Klon. Centura Klon. See? It's backwards. I built this. It wasn't that hard, actually. It was really fun. It's the same, exactly the same. Here we go. Here's a lot of people are going to get pissed over this. Fuck you. It's exactly the same as a Klon, a real one. It sounds identical. Doesn't sound any different. It's the same circuit board, the same components, the same everything. And I know because I built the damn thing. I built two of these. There's one down here and there's one here. These are the two I built. These are fabulous. These are not boost pedals. These are overdrive pedals. So when you're using the damn thing, turn your damn gain up. Because if you don't turn your gain up, you're not using the magic diode that is in here. If you turn this like this and you use just this, you're not using it. You're not using anything. You gotta use this to do that. The whole point of it. But these are great. So I use these two. Why? Do I use them together? No. Do I ever use them together? Oh hell no. I don't see the point in having two overdrive, you know, together. I don't know why you would do that. I still don't. I've tried it. I don't like it. This sounds a certain way. This sounds a certain way. And I like the way that both of them sound. This has like a scooped out middle fucking sound, which is great because it actually sounds a lot like a Marshall in reality. And this has the more like say high fidelity sound. I don't want to even say high fidelity. That's kind of like bad to say for an analog pedal. But they're my favorites, and they go on my board. So I switch out from each to each. Although the Klons stay home because I built those, so those never go anywhere. We have fuzz pedals. You know, I got another Analog Man Sunface. I got the Bots transistors. They're really cool. This thing is amazing. You want to talk about fuzz face sounds? Get one of these. Yeah, they can be a little pricey, but not if you buy it from Mike. It's not that bad, you know. But these are great. These are really good, you know. Effects. Now my ideas of pedals are effects. So you have your flanger, your phaser, you have your univibes and whatnot and so forth. That's what I mostly would use a pedal for. Delay, sparingly. And reverb, of course, because I love reverb. And if I can't have a spring reverb tank sitting on my fucking amp, then I'll use a digital reverb. I hate digital, but you gotta have one digital thing in this world, right? That'll be it. This is the hand-wired reissue jobby. It works just on a battery, and that's the way the fuck it should work. This is fabulous. This little phase 45. I keep it off the board because of the battery problem. But I use that. If we pause for a moment, let me see here. This is the home board. And I mean by home board, as this doesn't go nowhere. I have another board that's in a case. That goes on the road. That's a mess right now. But this is what I have at home. I normally do not have a lot of pedals like this, but I have 8, sockets, so I put 8. Might as well just put 8 pedals on there. You have your Klons, you have your Prince of Tones. I also have a Beano Boost, which is really nice. I add that for color sometimes. Sometimes I'll use like this and this together, or this and this together, because I like the way this sounds. Sounds like a Queen. This thing, get yourself an optical univibe. Optical univibes are really cool. They have a little light inside that's how it works on. Much different than the MXR non-optical. This thing is great. Wah pedals. This is a hand-wired Vox. This is beautiful, fabulous pedal. I also have an RMC. RMC is fabulous. I can't really decide which one I like better. I like them both, really. You got your flanges, your Bucket Brigade delay pedal. And my go-to. I have like 4 of these fucking things. I love this reverb. Is fabulous. It gives you a lot of options, but I basically stick it on plate all the time. And you got your little tuner. Now, here's another thing. I used to put my tuner at the front, right? A lot of people do. I had a friend, my guitar player friend of mine here from New York. He said, you know what, put your tuner at the end. I said, why? You'll see, put it at the end. So you put it at the end. Why? Because if you want to fuck with something, you hit this. And it nullifies everything. So let's say you have a problem on your board. You want to pull this out. You don't have to go up to your amp and shut, oh shit, this just nullifies everything. It's fabulous. Works great. Plus there's a buffer in this, right? So it's going to, if you even worry about that, I don't even worry about that. Amps, again, they're set pretty simple. Nothing really crazy. Nothing really crazy. Picks, I use your standard medium fenders. They have to be celluloid. I don't like any other material. Has to be celluloid, period. End of story. And in reality, I'm kind of fond of red. I don't know why, but I have a billion of these. And no, I never wear out my fucking picks, so I will have these forever and ever because I play so lightly that I never... There's another guitar player friend of mine laughs. He says, I bet you have the same fucking pick you had for like when you were a kid or some shit like that. He says, you never fucking wear out your picks. It's like, no, I don't. Slides. I should work better on my slide. A lot of people say, oh, you play slide great. And I'm like, I'm not confident in my slide playing, but I do play slide. So I have a brass slide. I have a glass slide. I don't know which one I like better. Brass is pretty cool. I like brass. Brass works for slides. That's basically it. But I wanted to show what between these two different amps sound like. So hold the phone for a minute. So a Tweed, you can kind of look at it as a Marshall, because it's kind of a Marshall in a way. Now actually, a Marshall is kind of like a Tweed, because Jim copied a Bassman when he made the first JTM45, so technically, kind of speaking, he kind of like ripped off Leo and made an amplifier. He changed his circuit, whatever the fuck we want to say, but you know what I mean, that's what he did. So, these are, in my opinion, Fender's badass amplifiers. Then you get to the blackface and the browns and all that kind of stuff, and it gets cleaner and cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. The idea here is they didn't want distortion, okay? That was the point. We don't want distortion. They wanted to make them better sounding. Excuse me. Here's what this Tweed sounds like. If you're gonna say overdrive, what does an overdrive sound like? So we hit the climb, right? It's a little darker. And this is what I mean. Watch when I switch to the Marshall. So remember, that's a greenback, and that was a blue Jensen. So Jensen, you know. Now, I played gigs with both of these amplifiers. I did a TV fucking, not TV, but YouTube fucking broadcast thing with this. Worked great. Beautiful. I did shows in clubs with this. Great. Played the bitter end with this a few times. Great. But they are different, right? They do sound different. I have a Tweed twin. That's another thing, but this is getting to be 37 fucking minutes. Well, that's not 37. It's 26 fucking minutes. I gotta stop this because it has a limit on it. But that's my attempt at showing what the hell I use, if anybody's interested, and how I play. Simple. Normally, what I usually use is overdrive and delay, and that's it, and a wah pedal for when I play a show, unless the band calls for something else. If the song needs a phaser, you know, some kind of color to it, then I'll add something to it. But I'm not the kind of guy that uses 47 overdrive pedals. One overdrive pedal. That's it. If I want to control, you know, the overdrive, how do you get your clean sound, and how do you get your lead sound, and right here. This is how I do it. This is like this. That's how I do it. Oh, that's simple. Simplistic. Yeah. Give me the comments. Give me some ideas for new videos. Because I've talked about every goddamn thing I could possibly think about with historics. But historics are supposed to be historically 50s guitars, right? Simple technology. So I keep it that way, you know? 1957 right here. That's what that's supposed to be, right? 1957. This is 1959. Ooh, you know, that you gotta look at it. That's the amplifiers that were out during the time. Always keep it simple. Believe me, you'd be amazed at how your style can come out more the simpler you keep it, and people will hear you, not the overdrive pedal. You know, hear you, not your board. But those of you who love your little pedals and you have all kinds of crazy shit going on, I like that. I'm like, ooh, what does that sound like? And what does this do? And what is that? I mean, not that I don't, you know, but when I'm playing a show or playing in a band, that's what I always do. That's it. I'm a guitar player. I'm going to play guitar. All right. I got a headache like a son of a bitch, so I got to take an aspirin or whatever the fuck. There's my explanation of my guitar rig. That's the Todd Lewis rig rundown right there. Take care, brush your hair.